Hi, Just Ask Sherry. Welcome to my channel, and I want to talk a little bit about aging and scamming. Uh, this is something that people fall for all the time, scams, because the scammers are getting more and more clever all the time. And I've gotten to the point for me that I think everything is a scam, whether it's in the mail, whether it's a text, whether it's an email, no matter what it is, a phone call. I think everything is a scam. I don't believe anyone. I don't believe anything. I ask for verification on everything, and so should you. I'm telling you, they are working overtime because people are responding. Now, I'm 67 and I've heard all the scams. Well, I shouldn't say I've heard of all of them because they are coming up with new ones. One of the latest ones that I got recently was, I thought, very, very clever. And this is how really smart they are at getting information. So a very good friend of mine, who is someone that I work for, and I've been working for him for 10 years, somehow they managed to get his contact list from his phone, I guess, because I got a text last week, and the text said, "Hi, it's so-and-so," with his name, and said, "Are you available for a few minutes?" Now, this is something that he would say to me because we work together, and he would say that to me. So I said, "What's with the phone number?" Because it was a different phone number. And he said, "My phone broke and this is my new number." Now, my hackles went up a little bit because it was a different area code. So I said, "Okay, what's up?" I thought it was a little bit weird, but okay, maybe, it could be. So this person said to me, "Do you have a few minutes?" Now that is also something that he would say to me. So I said, "Well, I have a few minutes before the kids get here," meaning my grandchildren, because it was late on a Friday afternoon, and he knows that I do see my grandchildren late Friday afternoons. So, but I thought, okay, he doesn't usually ask that, but sometimes he might if he, let's say, needs something notarized because he knows I'm a notary, and that is a question he might ask. So again, not unthinkable. So I'm still responding, but I'm a little bit like, okay, I'm not sure. So the next question was, "How close are you to the nearest store?" Now I'm getting a little bit more hesitant because he lives up the street from me and he knows that I'm 2 minutes from the closest store. So now I'm really getting suspicious. And I said 5 minutes. And because I'm thinking, well, I have to put my shoes on, I have to do this, I have to do that. So I said 5 minutes. And the next thing the person said was, "Can you run and grab me some Apple cards and Visa cards?" Well, now I know. He is not asking me to go to the store to get him Apple and Visa cards, because that is totally out of character and not happening, and he would never ask me to do such a crazy thing. So I said, and now I have to rethink this and I'll tell you why. So I said, "You cruddy scammer, I curse you to rot in hell, and my curses work. I see you burning now." So this has become my standard line when I get texts from scammers, because I think to myself, most of these scammers unfortunately come from India, and I do know a lot of nice people who come from India, but I do believe that a lot of them, many of them, are religious, and they do believe that they take their religion pretty seriously. So I think that when you curse them to burn in hell, that they believe it, and it makes them a little uncomfortable, which I'm not opposed to, making them feel uncomfortable. So it's a pretty nasty thing to say, but I figure I want them to feel nasty. I want them to feel like they're going to burn in hell. So, and then, they don't come back, then they just go on to the next person, I suppose. But I get a lot of these. But the funny thing is that a few days later, I had texted one of my clients. I do commercial real estate. And whenever I make an appointment with a client that I'm going to meet them someplace to show them space, I always tell them I'm going to send them a text to confirm the appointment, unless it was like the day before or the day of that I made the appointment. If it was a few days before, I always tell them I'm going to text them to confirm on that day a few hours before so that I don't run someplace for no reason. And so the day that I was meeting a client, I texted them to confirm the appointment, and I got a text back saying, I'm sorry, but this is the wrong number. I hope you find the right number to confirm your appointment. And I thought, oh my gosh, had somebody done that to me, I would have cursed them and it would have been horrible. I would have felt terrible. And this person was nice enough to respond that I had got a wrong number. And I stopped, I just assume when somebody sends me something that it's wrong, because that it happened a few weeks ago where someone had sent me something and I said, sorry, wrong number. And they said, oh, thank you so much for letting me know. And I said, NP, no problem. And then they said, oh, hi, my name is Mary. And how are you? And then I thought, oh, they're trying to reel me into a scam. And then I cursed them. So, and then I stopped hearing from them. They didn't send back and said, no, my name is really Mary. And I was just trying to be nice. And, so I become so jaded and suspicious that I don't believe anybody anymore when, I made a wrong number and somebody was nice enough to tell me. So I guess I have to start being very careful at thinking that everything is a scam, but it's gotten so hard because there's so many. But I'm going to take a break and ask you to like and subscribe to my channel. I talk about type 1 diabetes. I talk about weight loss because I've lost 120 pounds and kept it off for 17 years. And I like to talk about how I do that and the trials and tribulations and all that goes along with that. And I talk about aging and things that come along with getting older and things like scamming and the aches and pains and all the fun stuff that comes along. And aging isn't for sissies. So please like and subscribe so I can help you and that you can keep coming back. But back onto that. So that was that kind of scam, but I don't get as many phone call scams because my iPhone says scam likely, so I don't answer those phone calls. Although when I did get them, I used to like to try to keep them on the phone for as long as possible and talk to them and go along with it. And when I would keep them on the phone for as long as possible, make up a fake social security number or a fake credit card number or whatever, and keep them on for as long as possible. And then after, 5 minutes or so, I'd go, this isn't my real information, you jerk, you lousy scammer. And then they'd hang up. As soon as they realized that you were, pulling their chain, they would hang up. So, I would like to play with them for as long as possible. I like to go onto the YouTube videos where they set up the cameras all over. I don't know how they get into that. I don't know. They, very smart in their IT. And I like to watch those videos that show how they get onto their screens and the scammers see themselves and get freaked out. I think those are a riot. So it's a lot of fun. But please watch out for these scammers. Be suspicious of every phone call. Don't ever give out any kind of personal information. I once had a scam where I had a problem with my Epson printer, and I Googled Epson support, tech support, and I took the first number that came up and I called it, and he said, let me come on to your computer. I let him on, and he was on, and he kept me talking. And while he was going on my computer, and all of a sudden it was like ding, 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 something was not right. And I realized that He was asking me questions that made no sense to my computer or my printer. And I realized I wasn't in Kansas anymore, and he was not a Epson tech support. And I immediately hung up the phone. I shut off my computer. I called my tech support guy that I use personally for my computer that I know, a friend of mine. And he said, no, that was not an Epson tech support. What he was doing was going through your computer, trying to grab information, unplug the computer, and then I opened it up in safe mode. He came on. He said he was not on long enough to get anything. He made sure my computer was clean. And then when I went back on and Googled Epson tech support, that telephone number, that whole website was gone. That's how fast they are. They took that whole thing down. It was gone. So you even have to be careful when you Google for tech support for a big company, no matter who the company is. You have to be careful how it comes up. And what you're better off doing is keeping the guide, the tech books that come with your paraphernalia for your computers and all of your extraneous stuff, and only call the number that is on your support materials and not Googling it, because they are so smart that they come up on the top of a search engine with a number, and it's not a real number. It's to them somewhere in some country, and they go through all of these, things that nobody can ever find them again. So you have to be really careful who you even call when you Google a number like Epson. You have to really make sure that you're on that tech support. So please be careful, anybody you call. So again, please like and subscribe. It's Just Ask Sherry. That's my channel. If you want to email me personally, it's Just Ask Sherry, SHERRIE @gmail.com. Thank you for coming on to my channel. I really appreciate your time, and I hope I can help you in many ways through all of my different talks, and thanks again for coming.